Okay. You will have a test probably next Tuesday. So the day before Thanksgiving break, we will have a test. Okay? It's the last day. We're going to finish this up. Really, it's not that much more that we have to do. And it might be earlier than that. I don't know. It might be Friday. We are in Unit 3. We are doing unit rates. And this is day 4, day 3?
3. Four. Okay, I might that's right.
Okay. Today we are going to talk about proportions. We talked a little bit about proportions in the last unit, and we solved proportions. We solved them by cross-multiplying. The proportion itself shouldn't be hard. We are going to learn a little bit more about what a proportion does, why it's important, and a different word that a lot of students don't understand. And the word is equivalent. What do we think equivalent means?
Equal to.
Equal to. And that's the biggest problem right there. Equivalent does not mean equal to. Okay? People are like, oh, equivalent means exactly the same. Not quite. Equivalent means when simplified. They are the same. That's one way to say equivalent. The second way is different numbers that give us the same value. Okay? So it's going to look different, but when all is said and done, they'll give us the same value at the outside. Okay? And the easiest example are fractions. And it's going to say, are these equivalent? And I might give you 3/4 and 27/36. Okay, so now we need to say, what can we do to 3/4 and 27/36 to see if they are equivalent? Well, this first definition is what we're going to look at this time. When simplified, they are the same. So I'm going to write 3/4 and I'm going to write 27/36. Can I simplify 3/4 at all? Cooper?
Yes.
Okay, how do I simplify 3/4?
Oh, not simple.
Okay, so 3/4 is done. Can I simplify 27/36?
Yeah.
How?
Dividing
By what?
9.
So we take both the numerator and denominator by 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 36 divided by 9 is 4. When simplified, the fractions are the same. Therefore, they are equivalent. Yes, ma'am?
So it's kind of like scale factor?
It's very similar to scale factor. Very similar. Okay? Which is why we went over proportions in scale factor, right? So, are these equivalent? Another word of saying equivalent for this is, are they proportional? Bless you. Okay? Are these equivalent? Are they proportional? Well, what is a proportion?
A part of something?
Okay, that's a ratio. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers, and that's a part of something. But what is a proportion? What does it even look like? What do we have in a proportion? Because you've done proportions. What do you think?
A certain amount of something?
Okay, a certain amount of something. Well, there's two sides. There's a left side and a right side. What mathematical thing is in there? Is it a whole number? Is it Cooper? It's a fraction. So a proportion is a fraction equaling another fraction. So a proportion consists of two equivalent, and I'm going to throw out another word, ratios. And we've said ratios quite a bit this year. Ratios are a comparison of two numbers. A ratio is a fraction. Okay? So I could do the same exact thing with 3/4 and 27/36 and set it up as a proportion. It says, are they proportional? Well, so are they proportional? We already know they are equivalent, which is what we need, two equivalent ratios. To see if they're proportional, I would physically set it up as a proportion. Ratio equaling another ratio. Everybody with me there? To check to see if they are equivalent, what do I need to do? What did we do when we had proportions and we were missing a number? Maddie?
A butterfly?
The butterfly method, which is called what?
A cross multiply?
Cross multiplication. So I am going to check to see if these are equivalent by cross multiplication. So now I've got, is this in there? Yeah. 36 times 3 equals 27 times 4. Well, let's see. That's 8, carry the 1, 9, 108. So this is 108. For them to be proportional, what does the other side have to be? Has to be 108. Well, let's see. 27 times 4, 8, carry the 2, 8. Oh, nice. So when I check with my cross multiplication and they equal the same thing, are they proportional?
Yes.
Yes. So I can say yes, they are proportional. So again, checking to see if they're proportional, make them equal, cross multiply. Is that hard? So again, anytime you're given a proportion, we know they are equivalent. So if I give you 5/12 equals 15 over x, we know that this ratio is equivalent to this ratio. Even though they have different numbers, they will be the same when they are simplified. To solve for x, though, we cross multiply. And I want to see the equation. So I want to see 12 times 15 equals 5 times x. So 2 times 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, plus 0, 5, 1. So that gives me 180 equals 5x. Everybody still with me here? Because we've done proportions before. This should not be new, but we should still probably be taking notes. What do we do at this step? Come on, let's get somebody new. Cooper's like, I know how to do this. Corey.
Divide 180 by 5.
Good. We divide 180 by 5. So the numbers that's with the x is what we're trying to get rid of. So we solve for x. 5 divided by 5 leaves me with x. So if you can't do that in your head, we're going to long division it. Goes in 3 times, 15, 30 goes in 6. So x equals 36. Can our proportions, when we solve, can one of the numbers be a decimal? This is where you nod your heads, yeah. To make them equivalent, sometimes our proportions are going to be a decimal. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to set this up. Start multiplying. See if you can get x to the nearest hundredth. Hundredth is 2 decimals. So we're solving 3/4 equals x over 9. We are trying to round to the nearest hundredth. We are using cross multiplication. Make sure you keep that equal sign in the middle. So you will absolutely have to use long division. So again, we're going to cross multiply. I have 4 times x equals 9 times 3. 4 times x is simply 4x. 9 times 3 is 27. From this step, Brendan, what do I need to do? How do I get x by itself? What did we do over here to get x by itself? Somebody help him? Go ahead, Emma.
Divided.
Yeah, we're dividing. The number that's with the x gets divided. So we're dividing both sides by 4. So x equals, well, 27 divided by 4, so we're going to do long division. 4 goes into 27 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. That leaves me with a remainder of 3. Can I stop there? No. So, because we're asking for the nearest hundredth, I put my decimal, I make it 27 and 0/10. Decimal comes straight up. So now the 0 comes down, 4 goes into 30 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Leaves me with a remainder of 2. Let's try again. So we add another 0, so now it's 27 and 0/100. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. We now have 6 and 75/100. Show of hands, who got that one correct? Questions on seeing and finding out how they are proportional? Okay, so if it says, are they proportional, are they equivalent, you cross multiply. If the numbers are the same, you win, yay. Cross multiplication, you guys have been doing the butterfly method for a couple years.